This is the 15-volume collection of Love and Rockets Volume 1. After a year and a half, I finished reading them this week. And my thoughts are that, yes, the series is groundbreaking. Seeing what the Hernandez brothers, especially Jaime and Beto, how they started off, how they shifted, how quickly they grew, how quickly they got really good at a very young age, and seeing a lot of this work that was, I'm not going to say swiped, I'm going to say stolen by other creators that made a lot more money than they probably did. It shows you the influence they had. Um, they were sort of like maybe Nirvana when they put grunge music on the scene. They were sort of like somebody that put independent comics on the scene. They allowed Fantagraphics to continue to exist as a publisher. And I'm glad I read the stories. But having said that, the one thing that nobody ever tells you is that it's sort of like Game of Thrones. It starts off interesting, then it gets really good. And then at the end, it kind of like just fades and it doesn't really land well. And the endings are unsatisfactory. I think, especially the middle part, like that middle 2/3, is like some of the best comics you'll ever read in your life. But towards the end, it just seemed that Beto and Jaime, especially Beto, were just hell bent on all these really long, complicated um, stories with a huge cast of characters that really just did not land. There's a lot of flashbacks and imagery, and you don't know if it's what is really happening or it's what they think is happening. It's just it's a confusing mess, more so Beto's. And I like Beto, but it just didn't land well. And I've read it. I'm glad I read it because, as I said, some of these stories, especially Beto's Love and Rockets, A Rock and Roll Headache, The Death of Speedy, and also Blood of Palomar, are just amazing stories. But having said that, I've had enough of it. Definitely had enough of Maggie and Hopi, especially Hopi. I've had enough of Beto's really dense, opaque storytelling. I'm good. So I'm glad now I can start reading some either older stuff that's been re-released, or I can more importantly read some new stuff that's coming out, because now we're going to start getting to that season of new releases just in time for SPX. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Glad I read it. You should read it too. You should read it too if you've never read it. But just be warned that the ending doesn't land that well.